Hello and welcome to another video. It's from my weekend trip to Fujairah, and you'll get to see the hotel review, the Indian Ocean, visit to Hatta, as well as a failed hiking attempt, Wadi Shees, which is both a natural oasis as well as a farm, and Fujairah Fortress. The video is time-stamped, so if you're looking for specific info on any of these, feel free to just jump to that part. Okay, yalla, let's go. We start from the road to Fujairah. As you embark on this journey from Dubai, you'll see the landscape change very quickly. Personally, I found it captivating. 1 minute you're surrounded by desert, and the next mountains start to appear, lots more greenery, and roads start going upwards. But speaking of roads, thankfully they're very good quality, so it made the trip quite easy and enjoyable. As we entered the city of Fujairah, which by the way is the capital of the emirate with the same name, and it's the seventh largest city in the UAE, we noticed that the flags were flying at half-mast due to the death of Sheikh Tahnoon. Now, right here, and this is in front of the hotel, you'll see all flags at half-mast except the Saudi one. Do you know why that is? It's one of many things I learned during this trip, and it's very revealing of how thoughtful Arabs are. Tell me in the comments if you also know why. After 1.5 hour drive from Dubai, we've arrived to the hotel. It's called Al Bahar Hotel and Resort. It's 5 stars, and right off the bat, let me show you the room. It's very spacious, as you can see, and as the rest of the hotel has that old luxury vibe with marble, wood. Here are some coffees and teas. By the way, did you hear those stories of what people do with the hotel kettles? I don't think I'll be using them anytime soon after hearing that, honestly. Anyway, perhaps the most important part, the view overlooking both the pool and the sea. We'll go check it out a bit later. As for the rest of the room, it's your typical UAE hospitality. You get pretty much anything you might need at a hotel. Bathroom, again, pretty standard, very spacious, lots of toiletries. There's both a bathtub and a shower. And yes, as always, there's an intercom right next to the toilet. Now, let's go check out the restaurant. I filmed this in the morning, so this was breakfast. As you can tell, it was practically empty, and that's not because we were the only guests, but it's because that day we were up early to beat the heat for our Hatta hike, and I'll tell you all about that in a moment, but first, let's admire all these food options first. Real quick, before we move on to the hike attempt in Hatta, let's round up the hotel review by visiting the beach. As mentioned previously, this is the Gulf of Oman, which is also part of the Indian Ocean. Unfortunately, by the time we got there, the sun had already set. However, it was still enjoyable, and also plenty of people were still at the pool. This here is the inside of the lobby cafe. We chose to have our drinks outside, enjoying the wonderful weather this time of year. All right, it's time to hit the road again. We had 2 hiking adventures on our agenda for this trip. First one being Hatta. As you can see here, it rained recently, so there was some water still on the road. Fortunately, it wasn't as bad as it initially appeared, since there was no other vehicles passing by whatsoever. It had to be us to test the depth of this little pond. I went out by foot to check it out and then decided to drive on the side of the road where it appeared the most shallow. And success. Quickly, we reached Hatta and went straight ahead to the start of the trail. It's really well organized. There's a nice big parking lot, restrooms, and even some sport equipment shops. A security guard pointed us to the start of the trail, but when we reached it, the water was so deep and quick that we gave up. We walked a bit next to the river, took some pictures, saw a donkey, which made the trip totally worth it. This here, by the way, used to be a road sign for the hikers. However, apparently there was so much water going down the mountains that even this big concrete thing fell down. Unfortunately, I felt it was a failed trip and didn't film much, hence the photos. Regardless, it's a beautiful spot and I'll definitely be back. These short clips, by the way, I posted it on social media and nobody believed me. It was in the UAE. The next day, we got up early and went straight to Wadi Shees. First of all, what is Wadi Shees? It's actually a quite interesting natural phenomenon. Obviously, Wadi in Arabic means a river valley. So there is a small river there, but there's also a farm, and because it's situated between the Hajar mountain peaks, there's not much sunlight. And one of the signs on the trail says that the temperature here never goes above 32 degrees Celsius. This means it's noticeably cooler even when the thermometer hits the peak during summer, in Dubai and the other cities. That won't be the case in Wadi Shees. So as you watch me go through the village, I want to point out that real people live here. It's far away from all the urban parts of the country, so be mindful if you plan to visit. Although it may appear empty on video, we did see some locals. Obviously, we didn't want to record them. They were passing by or working on the farms or tending to animals. But they were all in traditional Arab clothing, very quiet and going on about their day. So just something to consider when preparing for this. Try not to be loud. Americans, don't leave trash behind. And personally, I wouldn't wear anything too revealing. Not that I don't think anyone would tell you anything, but it's just strange to be among these people who are very dressed, right? They're dressed in their traditional clothing. I wouldn't go walking around in some very revealing clothes. Once we were back in the city, we went to explore the Fujairah Fort, which is among oldest as well as the largest castles in the country. If you watched my previous videos, you'll know I love these because they remind me of the sand castles kids make on the beach. But anyway, this is one of the main tourist attractions in the city. It definitely shouldn't be skipped when visiting Fujairah. Hope you liked this little weekend getaway video. Let me know in the comments if you've visited any of the places mentioned here. And as always, see you next time.